Hello and welcome to the Citi Newsroom from our studios at number 5, Owula Hansen Lane at Tesano in Accra. My name is Nanatufo Boate. Coming up. Northern Electricity Distribution Company Netco disconnects power supply to Bagabaga College of Education, Tamale College of Education, and the Aliu Mahama Sports Stadium in the Northern Regional Capital over non-payment of electricity bills.
We will pay. We sent a letter last week, and so if you can give us 2 weeks.
It's not intentional that this money has been accumulated to that much. But we're thinking that government will come in to defray those things because it is he, government, who says we shouldn't pay, we shouldn't charge students for energy.
Still to come, jury in the murder case of late MP for Ebuakwa North, J.B. Dankwa, to boycott jury duties due to the non-payment of their allowances. Also coming up, construction for DEK Vaccines Limited, a vaccine manufacturing factory in Ghana, to take off.
Efficiency in vaccine production to meet future national, regional, and continental needs for health security. We shall not then in the future be at the mercy of foreign vaccine nationalism and geopolitics.
And later, Ministry of Works and Housing engages stakeholders to enforce planning laws and building regulations as the rains set in.
Is collaborating with the World Bank to invest $200 million to mitigate flood risks and solid waste management challenges in the Odo drainage channel. We have made significant progress in the implementation of this project.
Let's bring you the details of our stories now. And Northern Electricity Distribution Company, Netco, has disconnected power supply to 3 public institutions in the Northern Regional Capital over non-payment of electricity bills. The institutions include the Bagabaga College of Education, the Tamale College of Education, and the Aliu Mahama Sports Stadium. The disconnection is in line with Netco's drive to recover some 1.2 billion cedis debt owed by customers. There is more in the following report by Dinah Engwan from the Northern Region.
On Tuesday, the Northern Electricity Distribution Company, Netco, embarked on a revenue mobilization exercise to recover about 1.2 billion cedis owed the company in its operational areas. The initiative, led by its managing director, Osmani Aludiba Ayuba, visited some institutions including the Bagabaga College of Education, Tamale College of Education, Aliu Mahama Sports Stadium, and the Tamale Technical University. Out of the 4 institutions visited, 3 have been disconnected from the grid after they could not offer 70% of debt. However, at the Tamale Technical University, management of the school have assured that it will issue a check of 100,000 cedis out of the 3.35 million debt owed. Debt recovery is a major security challenge which has led to clashes between Netco and some residents of Tamale. Tuesday's exercise therefore saw security men, including armed military and police officers, accompanying Netco staff. According to Netco, it owes the Volta River Authority, VRA, the power generator, an amount of 1.6 million cedis, and the power transmitter, Gridco, about 481 million cedis. During the exercise, heads of the institutions made some explanations on the accumulated bills.
I cannot sit here because I'm not the spending officer to say that, oh, you collect this amount or what amount. So I want to make an appeal. If you can give us time when he comes back, I will discuss it with him.
We are owing. You have to own up that you are owing. And I've sent a letter to the head office via the ministries. And so if you can give us about 2 weeks, the ministry is coming to settle that bill.
It's not intentional that this money has been accumulated to that much. But we're thinking that government will come in to defray those things because it is he, government, who says we shouldn't pay, we shouldn't charge students for any utility. So to the best of my knowledge, we do pay current bills with some little amount of outstanding bills.
But the Netco team will not buy into their explanation.
You will agree with us that we have sent, over the past 6 months or even 7 months or so, we've sent over 3-4 demand notices, drawing your attention to the fact that you have not been paying your bills, and then also indicating in the demand notices the total outstanding payments to be made. But for the past 6 months, we have not really had any communication from you. Neither have we received, especially on the postpaid meter, neither have we received any payments from Bagaba. And if you look on our list, Bagaba is one of the institutions we have here that are owing huge. Like my MD said, 4.1 million Ghana cedis.
We've been given demand notices, and I'm sure if there was the willingness to pay, I'm sure this bill would have been settled by now. So I think that to let the ministry really understand that our business is being threatened, I think we would allow you the 2 weeks to negotiate with them once the power is off. And that will probably put them pressure to even come before the 2 weeks.
The managing director, Osmani Aludiba Ayuba, described the first leg of the exercise as a success.
There is no bias in our action. We don't discriminate among the customers. I mean, people who owe us, customers who owe us, institutions who owe us are seen as the same. So for the previous ones, clearly you would see that the payment that they were even making were just a drop in the ocean. It will take us, I mean, if I'm not exaggerating, forever to take those monies. But clearly this one is a case that we see reason with that. We had agreed with them, and then we think that once they have not defaulted and paying according to what was agreed, and the tenure was, in our view, is longer than what we thought, and they've also even agreed that we should review the tenure of the agreement, we think that there's no discrimination in this.
According to Netco, the exercise on the first day has been successful, and they will be continuing to other institutions who owe them, from the Tamale Technical University, where the exercise ended for day one. I am Dinah Ngwan, reporting for Citi News.
Let's bring you more on this because management of the VRA Netco in the Upper East region have disconnected some government agencies and educational institutions for failure to settle their indebtedness. The exercise forms part of the VRA Netco's revenue mobilization and recovery of customers' indebtedness to ensure operational efficiency of the company. Now, customers who owe the VRA and Netco will have to pay 75% of their indebtedness or risk being disconnected from the national grid.
In the Upper East and Northeast regions, customers' indebtedness to VRA Netco amount to 125 million Ghana cedis, of which the government agencies owe 55 million Ghana cedis. The situation, according to VRA Netco, does not only affect their operations, but threaten their survival in providing uninterrupted power supply to customers. In a quest to recover customers' indebtedness, VRA Netco embarked on massive recovery of debts and disconnection exercise. VRA Netco team visited the Bolgatanga Technical University, Bolgatanga Nurses Training College, and the Midwifery Training College, among other government agencies. After a failed negotiation between VRA Netco and some state institutions, Bolgatanga Technical University and Bolgatanga Nurses Training College, among others, were disconnected from the national grid. Upper East VRA Netco Revenue and Billing Officer, Engineer William Asari, has been speaking to Citi News.
We engaged the school authorities, the registrar and his team. The Pro-Vice Chancellor was there. As at February, their indebtedness is 1,083,215 Ghana cedis. It appeared that as at this morning, they had gone to pay 50,000 out of the 1,083,000, which is woefully inadequate. So they are left with 1,033,000, and we engage them so that they can make some substantial payment. Unfortunately, they are unable to meet us, so we have no other choice than to disconnect power supply to the university. Nursing Training College, they are yet to come. We have disconnected them. Their outstanding balance is 878,000. So we expect that they make payment or come up with an agreement that is favorable to both parties. Then we can look at restoring power.
Principal of the Bolgatanga Nurses Training College, William Sibyl, attributed their inability to settle their indebtedness to students' irregular payment of school fees.
Of irregular payment of school fees and the caliber of students that we have put in front, most of them are generally in need. And when you were there, I showed you the list. Are you saying that when your brother, just like even yesterday, I was on them sacking them? No more than 20 people called me, I beg you, I don't have money now. Tell me, you want to sack your brother, go to write the exams? If that's what we want to do, then we can hold that length. But at the end of the day, we try to give leeway. If they are able to settle them without what they don't want to do. So that has been our major problem, irregular and payment of school fees.
However, Bolgatanga Midwifery Training College was spared of disconnection and proposed a plan to swiftly pay their indebtedness.
The Midwifery Training School outstanding debt as of February, 288,540 Ghana cedis. We met the principal and the team, and they have put a proposal before us, which we have gladly accepted. They will pay 100,000 of the debt by close of day, and then pay 50,000 by close of month. The balance, the outstanding balance after that, will be spread over a 3-month period for them to pay. This is in addition to them paying their current bill as they become due. That means that as we serve them their current bill, they will pay it. Their current bill is about, ranges between 12 to 15,000 a month. So the expectation is that this arrangement is without the current bills. As and when we serve them the current bill, they will make the payment. That is the arrangement that we have had with them.
But Upper East Regional Area Manager of VRA Netco, Engineer Eugene Addo, stated that only customers who are able to pay 75% of their indebtedness to VRA Netco may be considered from being disconnected from the national grid.
Expect to receive all our monies because it is money that is due us and it's long overdue. So we expect to receive all the money. However, we are ready to add a human face to it. So if you pay a reasonable amount, we will not disconnect you, and we will rather engage you with a payment agreement to pay the rest.
50%, 70%.
The figure is not clear. You see, it's not clear. But if it's reasonable, but of course not less than 75%. Not less than 75%. I think it's reasonable. For me, that's an estimation, and I think that's what I'll be working with.
Day one of VRA Netco revenue mobilization and disconnection has seen key state institutions, including educational institutions such as the Bolgatanga Technical University and the Bolgatanga Nurses Training College, being disconnected from the national grid for their inability to pay their indebtedness to VRA Netco. However, the Bolgatanga Midwifery Training College escaped being disconnected because they put out some proposal that met the satisfaction of VRA Netco to settle their indebtedness. VRA Netco has, however, admonished all customers who owe them to expedite action in making their payments to avoid being disconnected from the national grid. For Citi News, Frederick Aoni, Bolgatanga.
Let's move on to some other stories. And members of the Akwatia Line Wood Sellers Association are calling on President Akufo-Addo to intervene to ensure they are properly relocated before commencing a redevelopment project at the Akwatia Line Wood Market Enclave. According to them, so far, as some of them have had their areas being barricaded and have been asked to move to a different section of the enclave, no clear allocation and demarcation has been done by authorities. There is more in the following report by Citi News' Bureau Chief for the Middle Belt, Edward Opomafo.
Sumaila Zachary is part of the first batch of woodworkers who have been asked to move away from their section. He narrates how security operatives and the contractor allegedly fired warning shots as some persons who operated in the area were brutalized by the police in their bid to get them leave the place to allow for the construction.
We were here for more than 41 years. My father was here for more than 41 years. And aside that, at least he has brought a load here to pack it. When they came in the morning and then started brutalizing people here, beating people. And we wonder how they could do that. And then afterwards, they begin to put this fence structure. We asked them why. They no respond. They brought a macho mans, and we couldn't even agree for the macho mans. They went and brought police. We didn't agree. They were slapping us, and we couldn't agree. They went and brought SWAT police here with two pickup cars. You see, and beating us, brutalizing us here. I don't know why. At least you should have informed us that you wanted to come and make a project here so that you vacate us from here and then give us some place to go, but not to come and then without any information, then you begin to do whatever you want.
Jibrila Amadou, a butcher whose area has been barricaded and was allegedly assaulted for resisting attempts for them to leave, has also been narrating his ordeal to Citi News.
So a police for the Emmy. One can contractor ye 1 shot and sana police for no air boat to you or have basa to boat to your bura man for buoy rough. You cried the Nami well done, Hornam called J. Kakra. And the H.N. Mimusa hiding and be oh, Sana Omina Drostonechi, and Omudigumi so no much about a Yano Medimatui, area have fun, Bia Busana, or because Sesame Sacrament to me Tramusi. Ya Burmia Mamada from a KVA and Sandy as Ansay, at the police station, the Kotumu. It was as a money a bay. Mumma, at times, see, I'm sorry, ha. Nipan to mean Tana baby by 40 years or 50 years. The one day, probably, I will say, would you can't have you?
Although the woodworkers say they have not been allocated specific areas to move to and operate, they fear their structures will be demolished anytime soon.
And I don't know, the great Ababy Juregu, to our Wanyama Wahano, Sister Wanyama, now almost a light, and I don't be Junior Manin in Egu.
As is simple for say, Munkomo Chikakra, Unimbebia, Ikasoku Chikwa, Obekwa and Kaza. As I step under Yenima, Kaye Pini Ako, Obia Wanapata.
There's nothing new about stores. The stores are many here. And if you build a store, we can provide it. Ababu Station, there are a lot of stores there. Nobody is able to afford it. And we are coming to build another store. For what? So we don't know the mindset of these people. It's just an individual interest. The only thing they are doing here is an individual interest.
And it is a personal interest. Because I want to go for no. Omo but I see young pushing corner. The Omo one saying, who push you away more among the coin. Me saying, Kaubia, no because any pan sorry no better as any pan or better as so on chassis. But yeah, may issue say almost young sorry, one peda brema, to say Omopema, I want to go for no, near Cocotina, Assambiano.
For the leaders of the Akwatia Land Wood Sellers Association, they want President Akufo-Addo to intervene. Peter Usumensa is the vice chairman of Akwatia Land Wood Sellers Association.
One regional minister, the mayor of Kumasi, and possibly president of the land, Ghana, to intervene on behalf of us, Akwatia Land Wood Sellers, to talk to the assembly so that we can have our freedom to do our work. Otherwise, if the contractors and the assembly want to evict us, then they have to find a suitable place for our members, entire members, to go so that they can do their development here.
In an earlier interview with Citi News, the municipal chief executive of Asukari Mampong, Kennedy Kankam, stressed that his outfit will ensure those operating in the area do not lose their source of livelihood. The leadership of the Wood Sellers Association tells Citi News it had an engagement with the municipal chief executive of Asukari Mampong and some police officers on Tuesday on how best to handle the issue. The wood sellers say they will continue to engage the authorities to ensure their concerns are addressed.
The contractors working on this project have indicated that indeed they are set, and already they have started barricading portions of this area. But for those who operate here who have been asked to move backwards, they say they do not know where to move to because there is no clarity. For Citi News, I'm Edward Upon Malfo, Akwatia Line, Ashanti Region.
Now, the jury in the murder case of late Member of Parliament for Buakwa North, J.B. Dankwa, has served notice of their absence from jury duties due to the non-payment of their allowances. The jurors claim they have not been paid their allowances since March of 2022. This was contained in a letter addressed to the judge presiding over the case. There's more in the following report.
The decision of the jurors was made known in court after Justice Lydia Osei-Mafo read her ruling on whether the caution statements of the accused persons should be admitted into evidence. The decision by the jurors to abandon their duties is due to the failure of authorities to pay their allowances. They say this has affected their ability to carry out their duties as they cannot further bear the cost of footing for their transportation in and out of court. This appears to be a challenge to the trial, which has been ongoing since 2021, when prosecution called its first witness, as the judge indicated that the court is unable to give any particular date by which the jury will be brought to the proceedings. Justice Lydia Osei-Mafo, before making this known, had overruled the objection of accused persons to the tendering of their caution statements as evidence. The evidence was introduced when prosecution's eighth witness, who is a police investigator, took the stand to testify. Lawyers of the accused persons, Daniel Asiedu and Vincent Bosso, argued that the statements of their clients were not given voluntarily. This led to a mini-trial in the absence of the jury as required by Section 120, subsection 6 of the Evidence Act. Prosecution during the mini-trial called witnesses, including the investigator, who were cross-examined. But after considering the evidence made available during the mini-trial, the court ruled that the caution statements were made voluntarily and hence overruled the objection of counsel of the accused person. Justice Lydia Osei-Mafo, in her ruling, stated that the accused persons were not coerced by police, nor were they promised any favors before they voluntarily gave the caution charge statement. Also in court, Minority Leader Keselato Forsen was directed to file his witness statement by May 4 this year in the ongoing financial loss to the state case involving the purchase of some ambulances. This followed an application by Keselato Forsen for leave to file 9 witness statements as part of his defense. The Minority Leader, together with the other accused persons, were expected to have filed their witness statements earlier to allow for case management conference ahead of the opening of their defenses. But lawyers of Ato Forsen in court on Tuesday indicated that their client was unable to have conferences with some of the witnesses who were outside the country. Even though the judge presiding over the case, Justice Efia Sewa Asari Buchi, could not comprehend why the accused person did not leverage on technology to get the witnesses to type, sign, scan, and send over the witness statements to him, she approved the application for leave. The other 2 accused persons, Seth Animana, a former chief director at the Ministry of Health, and Richard Jakpa, a businessman have also revealed that they will present 6 and 5 witnesses respectively as part of their defenses. The court also granted a disclosure application by Atuforsen for warrant of payment, which he claims details the person who authorized the payment. The case against Atuforsen is that he signed the letters of credit which formed the basis for the payment that resulted in a financial loss to the state without authority. The court has directed the state to make the disclosures by Friday, April 21 this year. The case has been adjourned to May 9, 2023 for case management conference. Justice Ifeasewa Asare-Botwe has however served notice that the matter will be completed by August 31 this year to enable her focus on her role as Court of Appeal judge.
You're watching the City Newsroom here on Citi TV. Still ahead. Construction for DEK Vaccines Limited, a vaccine manufacturing factory in Ghana, to take off. Stay with us. We'll be right back with the details.
Plus is a fully skimmed evaporated milk. Creamy Plus is available in a shop near you.
This message has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Finally, anyone can become a household.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You Go Flip, a real estate gaming platform that allows you to play and stand a chance of winning a house or cash or consolidated prizes, such as savings towards a house. Simple and easy to play. Visit www.yougoflip.com. Buy a ticket to enter the game. Wait for the end of the game to enjoy the win. Anyone can win. Flip it or own it. You Go Flip. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Play responsibly, not for persons below 18 years, and gaming can be addictive.
You're welcome back. Now, President Akufo-Addo has cut sword for the construction of DEK Vaccines Limited, a vaccine manufacturing factory, in a bid to make Ghana self-sufficient in vaccine production. The project, with an investment of over $120 million, will see to the manufacturing of vaccines for diseases such as malaria, pneumonia, cholera, among others. The following report has more.
The prioritization of a vaccine manufacturing factory in Ghana is a key component in Ghana's healthcare strategy The country is expected to start producing its own vaccines in January 2024. This is after the completion of the first phase of DEK Vaccines Limited. The project, with an investment of over $120 million, will witness a significant step towards securing the health of Ghanaians through locally manufactured vaccines with global quality standards. Speaking during the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of DEK Vaccines Limited, President Akufo-Addo says the completion of the project would enable the production of vaccines that would meet the national and regional needs with a conscious effort in being self-reliant.
Far from viewing the pandemic as a disaster before which we were powerless, we in Ghana embrace fully the lessons it taught us, as well as the direction to which it is pointing us. In particular, for us, it has given us a good sense of how important it is to strengthen our unity and solidarity with our fellow African countries, and has provided us with the motivation, if any was needed, to be self-reliant. We want to achieve self-sufficiency in vaccine production to meet future national, regional, and continental needs for health security. We shall not then in the future be at the mercy of foreign vaccine nationalism and geopolitics.
The managing director of DEK Vaccines Limited, Dr. Kofi Nsiapoku, gave details of the factory's projected output.
DEK Vaccines Limited is a $122 million investment with a capacity to manufacture 600 million doses of various vaccines annually. Vaccines manufacturing is technology and capital intensive. The World Health Organization has declared a need for the preparedness of the next pandemic. This DEK factory is designed to have a reserve capacity for any emergency or pandemic, making it special as a socio-economic business venture.
The project was made possible due to the partnership of key stakeholders, including the European Union. The Union has granted €5 million through the European Investment Bank to support the production of the vaccines. According to the European Union Ambassador to Ghana, Ershad Razali, the Union will not relent in supporting Ghana in its quest to improve its health sector.
As you all know, Africa imports 99% of its vaccines and 94% of its medicines, and this has to change. In Ghana, we have begun last year in supporting regulatory aspect of vaccine manufacturing, and now we are complementing with local production as well. The European Union is associated with vaccine manufacturing, and today, with this €5 million grants between the European Investment Bank and DEK Vaccines Limited. This investment, because this is an investment, even though it's a grant, will help kickstart the construction and the setting up of the factory where we now sit.
The Member of Parliament for Tamale South, Haruna Idrisu, has made a U-turn on his decision to endorse the interdiction of the headmaster of the Ghana Senior High School following reports that a toilet facility had been converted into a dormitory. According to the immediate past minority leader, after visiting the school and getting detailed information, the initial reports that a toilet facility had been converted into a dormitory is erroneous. He added that if the fact had been made known to the relevant authorities, the headmaster and the senior housemaster would not have been interdicted because they did no wrong. He further urged the media to be circumspect when reporting on such issues.
First appeal will be to the media to exercise circumspection and in reporting historical accurate facts about Cabral and Gbanzaba House, and much of what has been put out publicly is not entirely factual and accurate. Much of what has been put out lacks the historical perspective, and the lack of use of the facility even as largely reported as if there is an official record of students being posted to those sections referred to as students sleeping in the toilets and bathrooms. There is no official record to support that view. It's largely been used as a box room and abandoned since the 1970s and 80s. But if these facts were earlier made known to me and any other person in authority, you ought not to ask a headmaster to step aside when you have the full facts available to you. So we expect that we will treat people serving this country in a manner that is fair and in a manner that is just. I would monitor the outcome of the investigation and the implementation of the committee's recommendations.
Now, the Ministry of Works and Housing says it has engaged key stakeholders to enforce planning laws and building regulations to stop development on water bodies obstructing the free flow of water to reduce the risk of flooding. There is more in the following report filed by Rachel Engman and read by Charles Owusukumi.
Parts of the country, especially the Greater Accra region, has been subjected to perennial flooding annually, occasioned by poor sanitation and drainage infrastructure, as well as weak regulatory enforcement. As part of strategies to tackle flooding in vulnerable communities in Ghana, government is collaborating with the World Bank to invest $200 million through the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development Project. According to the Ministry of Works and Housing, there has been significant progress with the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development Project. It disclosed that procurement processes for the performance-based dredging of the Odo River has been completed and work is expected to commence soon after the implementation of the resettlement plan to compensate individuals that will be affected by the project. The ministry says it has engaged with the national security to seek support with the assemblies to enforce laws to stop development on the Kweshi waterlands and other waterways across the country. Speaking to the media at a press conference on flooding ahead of the rainy season, the sector minister Francis Asensubuachi indicated that human activities are undermining government's efforts to mitigate flooding in the country.
To address the human-induced challenges, the ministry has engaged with the national security to seek support for the assemblies to enforce planning laws and building regulations to stop development on Kweshi waterlands and on other water bodies across the country. Additionally, the ministry is engaging the Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development to enhance support for the assemblies in dealing with the challenges of building in waterways and drainage buffers. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the other component of government's comprehensive program to tackle flooding in vulnerable communities is investment in the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development Project. Under this project, which is the GARID project, the government is collaborating with the World Bank to invest $200 million to mitigate flood risks and solid waste management challenges in the Odo drainage channel. We have made significant progress in the implementation of this project. Procurement processes for the performance-based dredging of the Odo River is completed, and West is expected to commence soon after the implementation of the resettlement plan, action plan to compensate individuals that will be impacted by the project.
Health Minister Kwaku Agyeman-Manu has revealed his ministry is at the receiving end of suits from persons who allege poor service delivery and medical negligence at some health facilities in the country. Citi News' Ashanti regional correspondent Hafiz Tijani reports.
Mr. Agyeman-Manu, addressing senior managers of the Ghana Health Service at a meeting in Kumasi, revealed his office has in the past weeks received letters from the Attorney General's office of people suing medical practitioners over some services they rendered. The minister is worried about the recent trend in which he expressed concerns such cases are becoming common.
What I'm seeing of late in the ministry for the past 4 weeks or so, almost every week, we get at least one letter from the Attorney General's office. Somebody has sued somebody with problems with care, service delivery, and they want us to come with information for them to go to court with. Then we'll refer to Director General Paul Kumabwaji. But I've been with you for the past 6 years. Earlier when I came in, those things were not happening that much. But now it's become something, it's just climbing, it's becoming very common. So what is it? Deliberate efforts to try to go to court, get somebody to take us to court, or we have forgotten what we were trained to do in a more efficient manner.
He also tasked the senior managers and other care providers in public health facilities to ensure the National Health Insurance Policy achieves the purpose for which it was initiated.
Me, for example, I have health insurance cards. My kids have them. But we don't use them. Because where we live and where we go, I pay when I go to Rich Hospital. I pay when I go to UGMC. I don't even present my health insurance card. But a poor woman in that village down there, it's a very sad situation. And I see myself and put myself in your shoes and ask myself, if I were a doctor sitting in a facility and somebody comes who hasn't got money and that person should be treated else, he or she dies, what do you do as a doctor? I know what you go through. But we begin to think of them as well. So my plea is that, yes, health insurance delays payments, but of late they are paying small. Let me use that phrase. They are paying small. So why should I use that harsh word? Extort from the poor patients. You understand what catastrophic expenditures are?
Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kumabwaji, spoke about some steps taken to eliminate malaria in Ghana.
With the confirmation of the presence of a new mosquito vector, Anopheles cephense, the country will hope to enhance surveillance on the new vector per the updated vector control guidelines, improve the country's laboratory and human capacity to identify the vector, and intensify community engagement and sensitization at all levels. And here, we also ask the media to assist us in this endeavor.
The meeting of senior managers of the Ghana Health Service is to identify some challenges in the country's healthcare delivery and solutions to address them. The health minister wants senior managers of the Ghana Health Service to work towards addressing issues confronting healthcare delivery in the country. Hafiz Tijani, Citi News, Kumasi, Ashanti region.
You're watching the Citi Newsroom here on Citi TV. Still to come. Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Quartey orders the suspension of the headquarters Kayaye housing project at the Malamata market in Accra. We'll bring you the details shortly. Please stay.
Wow, this place has changed, yo! Yo, Adra, look at you all grown up, yo!
Some things never change, like Gino's quality recipe that gives my food that rich color, unique natural taste every time.
Smells good, yo!
Hey, sister, we did what Ponsano and Casa, just like I remember.
Uncle Bo, hurry up and let's open the suitcase.
Ajua, chai, na me shrink quite far.
Best jollof I've ever eaten.
Wow, this is real jollof, mommy.
Gino dear, Emma Adriana de Ankasa.
Say Gino dear, fie. It's delicious, yo!
This advert is FDA approved.
You're welcome back to some more stories. And the Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Quartey has ordered the suspension of the headquarters Kayaye housing project at the Malamata market in Accra. This decision comes after some traders from the Malamata market in Accra on Tuesday thronged the premises of the Ayawaso Central Municipal Assembly to protest the construction of the hostel, which they claim is situated at the community school. Well, there's more in the following report by Rachel Engman and read by Hansen Ajman.
Government is to construct a 600-bed Kaya hostel facility following a campaign promise made by President Akufo-Addo. As part of this move, plans are underway to establish one of the housing projects for headquarters at the Malamata market. On Tuesday, some traders from the Malamata market stormed the premises of the Ayawaso Municipal Assembly, clad in red and chanting war songs. The angry protesters expressed concerns that the Malamata daycare school, which happens to be the site where the building was going to be put up, had been in existence since General Champon's time, so it was inappropriate to demolish it. Some of the market women also lamented over being evacuated from doing business at the site.
Put the tax for Saba. Say Yama Caterpillar, Niaka, Ba Amubesa and Yabu, Shop, Nasia, Preoccupese, Yabe and Yamabu, Omuka Samlu, Yabe and Yamako, and I penny for say, Yabeti be Biafio. Yet she, no, we are no pay, not Preoccupia and Yama, no crass, no Yantia, school no see a one idea and Babajuma.
It doesn't make sense. How can they build something where they are doing a school at the same time police station? That's where they do vote, and that's where the children go to school. So how can they do a project over there?
The Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Quartey, after meeting the traders, assured that the project will be halted with immediate effect. Henry Quartey was, however, quick to add that the market women risk being removed if they are unable to keep the market area clean.
Timbetie MC said, "Dear Naba, na Yanti said, you may be Nanko almost to sell Muya or Beboa, Moamon Crofo, and no more did it Jao. They no mene mo MCD, any MC, I didn't come. And you know, suspend that exercise. Yeah, the better. And you know, sa project, you know, me sense subium. Yeah, the nice so. And munko na munko tom wadie. Nemom. Kwa chia die fair. Mo amu odwo mo amu ntua bibia no. Mo mamodene na moto nkitenkete no mo ntua na assembly no entimi mfanye adwuma. Ebi ne edi gotemu, ebi ne edi aniama, ebi ne edi fa bola. Mo ntua enye ebia na ekwa kakra street light say a. Na be ni ye. Ti musremo afe fare yo. Ehia me pa yes, charity begins at home. Me fie ni ha. Te me nam ha na sa ha ye fie ya na ha me. Esan se be nam krom na mi siesie krom ese me fie mi siesie ni ye. Enti no de me de mema mo no se mo anya de am yankasa me ba betumu.
Now, residents of Alugboshi, a suburb of Achimota, are lamenting the current water rationing in the area. According to some residents, they have not had water flowing through their taps for about a week. Bimone is negatively affecting them. There is more in the following report by Citi News' Daniel Sakite and read to you by Charles Osukumi.
Water, it is said, is life. Its absence creates inconvenience to many. This is the current predicament of residents of Alugboshi, a suburb of Achimota, as they comb the area for alternative sources of water as a result of intermittent supply for at least the past few weeks. Ethel Late Adomakon, a hairdresser, says this is affecting her business.
Just this morning, I sent one of my daughters to go and fetch me water, and she came back telling me water is not around, pipe is closed. So that's how I find out about it. I sent her again to go and fetch me Bula. That affects my business very well because I like using the pipe for the hair. If you use Bula for the hair, it breaks the hair. So I need the pipe very well.
Residents say the water challenge has been persistent for some time. They add the alternative sources have not been the best as they lack the needed treatment for purification.
Even though we go to the houses that they have the water in them, that's water from Ghana company to fetch water, and mostly when you go there, they tell you that the pipe the pipe is not flowing. Yes, so you need to go maybe for a day or two. You go back, then you get your water. So that's the challenge. But what if our message or like our grievances will be heard, or like, and they will come to our aid, we'll be happy. But normally, whenever you voice out or you say anything, the response that you don't get any response. So that's the issue. That's the issue we're having. But I hope they will come to our aid and do something about it to help the community, because mostly the wells that we rely on, how should I say it? When it comes to purification and all those treatments, like it's not the best, but that's what we have been relying on.
Man said 2 weeks in. You should be more. Welcome, Kobu Hachu. I say, the Aquan say a ban of pa, and to a bear numerous maybe nature. Okay. The Asumi Crampo Bulan Makose.
Former Assemblyman for the Abufun electoral area, James Akogo, in an interview with Citi News, appealed to authorities to intervene in the matter as it is having a negative impact on the Alugboshi community.
Students will now have to travel all the way to Achimota College to go get water in the morning before dressing up to school, and it has been a whole lot of it has become an issue for our people here, and in fact they are suffering. So the challenges here as it stands now, it's not good at all. It is not good. People are suffering, and I will plead to the authorities if something can be done about it. I think earlier the better.
Besides the issue of intermittent water flow, huge bills has become a major headache of the commercial water sellers. This has led to some discontinuing their businesses.
Bills is too much. For 1 month water bill for 40 million. Me turn a toilet to her. If you know me turn so 1 month 40 million. I'm pressure. Me down me juice. Now pressure and solely mommy because I don't know who you me me tell water be 5 million. Now some move to zoom cry no more to zoom 40 million. Timothy said, I buy no share who know your baby man. Upon the chopper, she said, you and your cry.
Well, that's it for the Citi Newsroom here on Citi TV. Log on to our website, citinewsroom.com, for more. Subscribe to Citi Tube on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Citi TV. You can also watch Citi TV on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. My name is Nanatufo Boateng. Many thanks for watching.